Hi everybody and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name is Rob Evans and I'm your weight loss coach, health strategist and internationally published author, helping take your life, your business, your health, fitness, mindset and body from where you are right now to where it is that you really want to be. And today I want to ask you a question. Have you allowed your standards to drop? Maybe it's over the last week, maybe it's over the last day, maybe it's over the last 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, couple of years. We get ourselves into a routine of something, and that routine can either be empowering or disempowering to us. And over time, it's not until we stop and look back and say, wow, yeah, I really have allowed my standards to shift. Now, this could be across many different areas of your life. It could be your business. And so today I'm going to talk to you about, from a business perspective, and what I've observed in myself and how it's really prompted me to record this message for you today about not forgetting why you got started to start with and how we can maybe raise those standards up again if you have allowed them to fall away. Or maybe you don't have a standard for this particular area of your life and it's time to create that standard for you. Because the higher your standard, the higher your level of focus and energy and the higher the level of outcomes that you're going to get. For me personally, one of the things that I've just noticed over the last few days in reflecting on what has worked really well for me over years, since I started the business, and how you separate yourself from the rest of the pack is really via your customer service. I mean, we live in such a fast-paced world now. There are so many competitors across, all different fields of things at the moment, that if you are just the same as everybody else, if you're just a vanilla type of service against what other people provide, chances are people are going to just shop around on price or go somewhere else because you don't stand out. What I've recognized is, and particularly with COVID, is if you can separate yourself by a high level of customer service, really excelling in that area, then you are always going to be busy. You're always going to be separating yourself from the competition because maybe you don't have the same sort of volume, but maybe you're charging a higher ticket price because your level of service is so much better. And that's where I like to put myself. I'm never going to be a super high volume business. That's not the way that I've set up my business. It's not the way that I want to be working. I'd rather be working with a smaller group of people, even if that's around 80 people or something like that, than work with hundreds of thousands of people, because I feel like the level of customer service is going to slip away. So my observations lately have been, I remember I used to do these types of things. I used to provide these types of services, or I used to communicate with my clients in a certain type of way. And the busier you get and the more other hurdles that get in your way, you can tend to forget about communicating as effectively as maybe you once did when you had more time to do these things. And so my observations of myself have been, yes, I used to communicate more frequently with people via a different means, maybe 5, 6, 7, even 10 years ago. And I've allowed that to slip away just because the way that we communicate with people now has changed. And I know I mentioned this a couple of days ago on a podcast, but it's sticking with me because it's made me realize that I had a conversation with some clients this morning and they said, yeah, when we left our other trainer to come to you, as soon as they knew that we were leaving, they deleted us from a private Facebook group. They didn't send us a message at all apart from see you later kind of thing. There's been no touch points to see how are you going, whether they wanted to come back, all that kind of stuff. And they feel like they've really been using a service before that were just in it for the money. They didn't have their best interests at heart. And because these particular clients are health and body transformation clients, one of the things that they had said to me before was, they trained as a couple, one of them had said that she's really frustrated because she's never been able to really lose weight. And even though she'd been training and doing all these things, she hadn't been able to lose the weight. And when she told me about her lifestyle, what she was doing, it was very easy for me to say, I can see exactly why you're getting that outcome. And I tell people that. I said, if we can just make some of these tiny little changes here, here's my meal plan. You do these sessions with me, even just for half an hour, then this is the outcome that I would expect for you. So she's waiting today. They're both doing exceptionally well. And she's now up to, I think this is the third week, and she's up over 4 kilos now. And her partner, I think she's lost, oh gosh, I don't know exactly. I think it's about 3 kilos, something like that. And they're just blown away. And it made me realise that, well, gee, why wasn't the last person getting it when they told me, like, getting those results for them? And when they told me that story, I thought, right, they said, look, when you're in the session, she's all, yeah, go type thing. But as soon as that session ends, there's nothing. And it got me thinking about how I communicate with my clients on an ongoing basis. And yes, if people are connected through social media, then they'll see that there's always something that I'm posting to motivate, inspire. Obviously, I'm recording 2 podcasts a day, but I don't always post those on social media. So some people may not necessarily see those things. Now, I do 2 a day. Do I post like an email to people every day saying that here's the next episode? I think that would become a little bit boring for people. So you've got to provide fresh content. But I have allowed the volume of emails that I send to my database drop right through the floor because I'm communicating other ways. But for me, these clients really highlighted to me, well, actually, yeah, they should be getting emails from me just talking about different things, maybe it's different products, different services, because you're missing out on an opportunity. And what it also does is clients that came to me years ago, maybe they're not hearing from me, they're not following me on social media, so they don't know what I'm up to, they don't know the services that are provided now, and they might be looking to opt back in. And it's also made me reflect on the fact that every time that I've done those things, that I have picked up more people. So it's something that, the time of recording this, it's a Friday, I'm going to use some of this weekend to create some email campaigns so that I can start to do that again. Because I'm not really quite sure when that started to drop away. Maybe it was a couple of years ago. Certainly through COVID, I sent out a number of communications to people talking about the alternate services, the modified services that we're providing. But since then, it's really dropped away. And that's not a good thing. So I've allowed my communication standard with clients to drop off. Now, my existing clients, yeah, I'm having conversations with them multiple times a week. So I'm communicating with them. But it's everybody else. And knowing that they are still part of my fitness family, but seemingly I appear to have forgotten about them. Even though I haven't, I'm not showing that I haven't forgotten about them. So maybe there's an area for you in that area too, where you have dropped off on something that you used to do for your clients that you don't do anymore. One of the things that I started doing initially when I started my business was giving people welcome packs. Now, the idea of a welcome pack is to give something that's got a bit of a wow factor. So I give 2 different welcome packs. I do one for my group sessions, and then for my PT sessions that I do, and my coaching sessions. It's a higher spend, so they get something more. So I've got, for my group sessions, they get like a drawstring. It's a good quality one, but it's just a drawstring bag. And in that, they get like a hat. They get it's actually a visor, which is branded. They get either a t-shirt or a singlet. They get a drink bottle, and sometimes I put some other promotional stuff in there if I've got, other promotional stuff, whether it be a pen, a notepad, something extra. And so they get all those things, as well as they get some electronic tools as well, like some, whether it be a recipe book, whether it be some workout stuff, all of that kind of thing. my PT clients, they get a better quality bag. So it's either, in the past I've used like sports bags that are branded, backpacks, that kind of thing. They get a printed manual, which is like an introduction manual talking about the different aspects of health and fitness. Look, it's about 30, 40 pages, something like that. So that's really, and it's really professionally done. It's not cheap. It's like it's professionally printed on good quality. I think it's 80 GSM gloss paper. It's got a hard cover at the front and the back. It's branded. It's like, it looks really, really polished. It's got some like a nutrition journal in there as well. Like it's really cool. It took me some time to come up with it, but it works really well. So there's that. They also get a copy of my book, Awaken the Sexy Within. They get a t-shirt, they get a hat, they also get a drink bottle, as well as any other little things. So from time to time I've done, okay, so the latest thing that I did was it's a little puzzle. So imagine like a cube puzzle, which is branded with the, Studio's personal training on it. And so something just a little bit different, a little bit of fun. And people find that they really enjoy these things. I remember years ago, I used to have this little key ring, and it was branded. It was a tape measure, a torch, and also a bottle opener. And people used to really like that. And I said, oh, wow, look at this. That's really cool. Or it was a torch that they could attach to their key ring, that kind of stuff. So just simple little things. But what it provides more than anything is, like, each one probably costs, like my group one probably costs about $30, $40, something like that, with there's a shirt to be printed and drink bottles and everything. The bootcamp one probably costs around $60 to $80, depending on what I put in there. You might say, oh, well, I don't want to spend that. But think about how quickly you're going to recover that. It goes into the lifetime value of the client. You're setting them up for a big wow factor right from the start. You might say, well, it's not a big wow factor, but you'd be surprised that every single person that I give a welcome pack to, they're like, oh, wow, is that for me? And they open up and have a look and say, oh, wow, look at this. Or they come back and they say, gee, I really like that, the book, or, wow, there was so much stuff in there, or, whatever, and they wear their t-shirts or their singlets proudly. So simple little things that you can be doing that maybe you're not, they can leave a really good impression. Another good example, yesterday, I've got a real estate client that works with me at the moment. And so whenever I see certain things, I will save them and show him and, get his perspective. And I had these, it's a little postcard size flyer dropped in the mailbox. We get them from real estate agents all the time. And this one came in the mail, and it just really captured my attention because of how bad it was. And to start with, most of them normally come on a card, like a postcard type material. This one was wafer thin. It was less than 80 GSM paper. It was set out really poorly. You flipped it over and it was using like clip art style images on it. And look, do I need to say any more? Like clip art? Seriously? Who's using that these days? And it just looked really amateurish. And the other thing that stood out was their office was 75 Ks away from here. And so based in the city. I was like, okay, you know nothing about the market here. Why are you selling in this area and yet you're based in the city? That's not going to work for most people. So it was just an example for me as to, they might be great people, they might be great at their job, but it really didn't set them up for a good picture in my mind that I would recommend anyone to these people. I just wouldn't, because it was all downside. So again, that's a standard that they've obviously set up for themselves. You can do it differently. I've always prided myself on my background coming from a professional executive style background into running my own business and into an industry that is quite, it's very easy to get to. A lot of people don't have great standards. Well, I wanted to set myself above the rest. And a great example today is I'm meeting with somebody that's new to the industry to see if I can if she's interested and if she's a good fit for me to take on as an extra trainer and coach. And she's very keen on being coached by me so that she can become the best version of herself to then maybe go out and open her own business at some point in the future. And I think, yeah, fantastic. I'm more than willing to help someone grow and learn the skills so that they can go off and do their own thing and fill their own dreams, because that's what I've done. And I guess I'm excited about the fact that there is people out there that really want to learn. And when I was talking to her on the phone, I was talking about she's only a young girl and she's just new to the industry. And I said, if you can really harness some of the key things that I'm going to teach you about the branding, how to get the branding, why it's so important, how to set yourself above from everybody else by just doing simple things that are just a high level customer service, and talking to her about things that I observe from trainers in the gym where I train and so forth, and just how unprofessional it looks from the way that they dress through to the way that they speak, the way that they track their clients' information and everything. It's just simple little things that can set you apart from everybody else. It's not about being the best trainer in that facility. It's about being the best trainer in your area. Then, take it out from there. My goal when I first started was to be the best known, most successful trainer in my area, and then it was in southeast of my state, southeast Melbourne. And I've been able to achieve that. I've won some awards at my business level, and also at the regional level as well. So it's only when you set yourself up for having those high standards that you are focused and you're driven towards it. Now, one of the other areas where you might have found that you've maybe dropped your standards a bit, over this side of the world, here in Australia, we're heading into winter, and in my part of the world, like right now outside, it's very misty, it's very foggy, it's early in the morning. It's going to be a beautiful day, but until the fog burns off, it's really quite cold outside. And we're heading into winter, we'll get frost. We don't get snow where I live, but we'll get frost, it gets really cold. You get more people that tend to be like bears and hibernate. They drop their standards for their health, they eat more high calorie, more denser food, and tend to become seasonal trainers, as in exercise. And what happens is they get to the end of a season and they find that they really don't feel good. They don't like how they feel in terms of energy-wise. They don't like the way that they look, and then they decide to do something. Now, from my experience, the best time of the year for me to be focused and where I get my best results is through winter. Now, why is that? Well, I think part of it is you don't overheat. You can exercise hard. You don't get all hot and sweaty and feel like the heat is oppressive and stopping you from exercising. And you can just be really focused. And most of the population during winter is not. So you can be different, and I'd like to be different. I'd like to stand out. I'd like to be able to separate myself from everybody else because I choose to have a higher standard. And you can do that too. So maybe there's something in there for you where during COVID, getting out of COVID, or depending on what's going on in your part of the world at the moment, like India is being absolutely ravaged by COVID right now. I just saw a flash up on the screen before in my studio saying that, like at the start of the week, or even last week, I think India was having about 280,000 cases a day. This week, every day, it's been over 300,000. Yesterday, it was 380,000 people. It's just growing exponentially every single day. They're running out of oxygen, for crying out loud. They're burning bodies in the street in makeshift like crematoriums because they just don't have the space to put all these different bodies. It's really sad. So depending on what's going on for you in your part of the world, maybe you have dropped your standard a little bit around your health. And if COVID has taught us nothing else, it's don't drop your standards for your health, because the stronger you are, the fitter you are, the healthier you are, even if you do get COVID, and let's face it, even if you have a vaccine, you're less likely to get it, but you can still get it, you will come out better if you are stronger. Ladies out there, if you are pregnant, if you're thinking about becoming pregnant, I have a number of ladies that when they come to me, they then get pregnant and they want to stop training, or they think they should stop training because somebody has said something about training and being pregnant and stuff. And my suggestion is this. Obviously check with your GP, your gynecologist and everything first, obstetrician, to make sure that everything is right for you because they know your full medical history. But the longer that you can train safely, doing sensible training, the better you will go into labour, the better you'll come through the other side, the better you will feel about yourself, the more energy you'll have on the other side of the baby coming, and you will be able to reclaim your body faster. Now, I've got a lady right now that so today's Friday, she's being induced in 2 days' time for her second child, and she's been training up to, I think next week will be 38 weeks, or maybe this week's 38. And she's been training up to 35 weeks. The last 2 weeks she was ill for 1 week, and this last week she said she's just feeling a little bit sore, so she's going to wait till the baby comes. And she can't wait to get back into it. And she didn't do that for her first baby. And she feels so good, even though she's a little bit sore right now and can't wait for the baby to come. She's trained all the way up to it. Now, that's a standard that she's specifically chosen. She went from group training through to some personal one-on-one type training because she knew she needed, different and special care. And she's really valued it. Now, I encourage anyone that is in that same situation, take a bit of extra care about yourself, because when you're pregnant, you lose your body. You really do. And men, we can't relate to it because we don't lose our bodies, although some do. But we're not growing something inside us, so it's different for us. And I think that the more you can have a higher standard around your self-care, whether you're pregnant or not, the better off you're going to be in the long run for your health. And I just encourage you all to just have a look at the standard that you're living by right now for your health and wellness. And does that need to be changed? Do you need to step things up? Because it's very easy to become complacent. We get busy and it just gets pushed to the side. And look, life is too short to not take complete care of yourself. It's just not. There's no excuse for it. You've just got to make it your number one highest priority. Because when you become ill, very unwell, nothing else seems to matter. So let's put it as our number one priority. So standards. Have a look at the different areas of your life and see, do I need to check in with myself and say, yeah, I really have allowed my standards to drop in these areas. It's time to step things up. I'm not doing a good enough job there. I know I've got work to do. I'm sure you have too. If you want to connect with me, you can go to the mentaltoughnessandbodyshow.com, opt in for a free consultation. Let's make 2021 your best year yet. Stay safe. I'll see you tomorrow.